Chapter 2. Domestic Disturbance. Dave stared at his phone for half a second after Zalina disappeared into the spare bedroom with her duffel. The delivery app was still open from last night's order. He exhaled, thumbed through the menu, and decided the only way to survive the next hour was to do something normal. Before she could start unpacking, he called out, "Hey Zalina, quick question on pizza. Any preferences, allergies, things you don't eat? I was thinking 2 larges, but I can customize." She stepped back into view, posture straight but not rigid, arms relaxed at her sides. "No incompatibilities with Terran proteins or dairy. I researched variants. Pepperoni for meat content, vegetable for balance, barbecue chicken to approximate Dravok spice profiles, and Hawaiian. The pineapple contrast is intriguing." Dave's eyebrows climbed. "All 4? On 2 pizzas." "Variety aids assessment," she said, deadpan. 1/4 each will suffice." He laughed, a short, surprised bark. "Okay, 1 large with half pepperoni, half veggie. On the other, half barbecue chicken, half pineapple. Extra cheese on all. Sound good?" "Optimal," she responded. Dave hit order. 38 minutes. He set the phone down and hesitated, then wandered toward the spare bedroom doorway. The matte black duffel floated open in the center of the room, clothing segments unfolding in neat rows on the bare mattress, dark tanks, reinforced cargo pants, and segmented armor plating. She arranged them with geometric care, each piece aligned like it was waiting for inspection. She moved to the closet next. Dave's overflow of graphic tees hung there in a jumbled row. NASA, Star Wars, faded band logos from college. Zalina scanned them, then reached in and pulled out a black one with a stylized gear and "Optimize or Die" in bold letters. She held it up, studying it. "This hue matches my standard palette, low visibility, non-reflective, and the message aligns with my operational philosophy." Dave laughed softly from the doorway. "That's my favorite. I wore it to my last Aether Clash tournament back when I still went to tournaments." Zalina folded it carefully over her arm. "May I borrow it?" "Yeah, keep it if you want. It looks better on you anyway." She tilted her head. "It is consistent." Dave pushed off the doorframe, stepping inside. "Consistent? That's one way to put it. Everything you brought is black. Tactical black, right?" "Practical," she said. "Low visibility and multiple spectra. Durable, non-reflective. Color is secondary to function." Dave glanced at the black shirt in her hands, then at the dark gear she'd laid out on the mattress. "Makes sense for boarding ops, but on Earth, people wear colors for, I don't know, mood, expression, to not look like they're about to breach a hull." Zalina considered that, fingers tracing the gear logo on the shirt. Expression through color. Interesting variable. She glanced at the folded tee again. "Perhaps I will experiment." Dave's grin widened. "You're gonna wear colors?" "Perhaps 1 item," she allowed. "For assessment purposes." She set the shirt aside on the mattress with her other gear, then resumed arranging the rest of her kit. Armor plates ranked by function, tanks folded in perfect squares. Dave watched for another moment, then walked towards the living room. "Right," he muttered to himself. "Let's make this place less of a disaster before the pizza gets here." Pizza boxes from last night went into the trash. Empty energy drink cans clinked into the recycling bin. He gathered scattered Aether Clash cards and slid them back into the binder with more care than usual. The coffee table got wiped down. He even straightened the couch cushions, which felt ridiculous but also necessary. Like if the place looked marginally less like a war zone, maybe the whole situation would feel marginally less insane. Zalina emerged from the bedroom again, saw what he was doing, and moved to help without being asked. She gathered the remaining cans with precise efficiency, stacking them by brand and size. "You're fast," Dave said, half impressed. "Efficiency is habit," she replied, then quieter. "But thank you for starting." They worked in surprisingly comfortable silence. Dave wiped down surfaces, Zalina straightened crooked remotes, and aligned the Aether Clash binder perfectly on the shelf. When he left a coaster slightly askew, she reached over and nudged it straight without comment. Dave noticed. "You do that a lot." She paused, fingers still on the coaster. "When I arrived, the disorder was notable," she said evenly. "It required assessment, but I have recalibrated." Dave snorted, half amused, half sheepish. "Yeah, well, welcome to my life." Zalina's mouth curved, just a hint. Tolerance is a skill I am practicing. The room now suggests that improvement is possible. He laughed under his breath. I'll take it. She paused, considering him. Your comfortable chaos is statistically suboptimal, yet intriguing. It has allowed you to function effectively in your own environment. Dave paused, mid-wipe, rag dangling from his hand. You just complimented my mess. I observed a fact, she said. The data supports it. He grinned, eyes crinkling at the corners. Noted. Once the living room was marginally less apocalyptic, Dave headed to the kitchen. Sink full of dishes, counters cluttered with old mail and a dying houseplant. He started scrubbing. Zalina followed, took a towel, and began drying with the same measured precision. You don't have to help, he said. You are making effort, she replied. I will match it. Dave glanced at her, gunmetal gray skin catching the kitchen light in faint teal-violet shifts, cyan blue markings pulsing gently along her forearms as she worked. She looked completely out of place in his messy kitchen, yet somehow present. When the sink was empty and counters cleared, they both stepped back, surveying the results. The kitchen looked functional, almost welcoming. Dave wiped his hands on a dish towel. Not bad for a start. Zalina inclined her head. Acceptable progress. The doorbell chimed. Pizza. Dave grabbed his wallet, paid the driver, and came back with 2 steaming boxes. Zalina had already moved to the dining table. She was setting it with quiet efficiency. Plates aligned precisely at each place, napkins folded into neat triangles beside them, forks and knives placed with geometric symmetry. Dave paused, boxes balanced in his arms, watching her. The table looked intentional, like a real meal, not a quick refuel in front of the TV. He felt a small, unexpected tug in his chest, part embarrassment, part something warmer. He set the boxes down on the table and rubbed the back of his neck. You wanted the table, huh? Zalina inclined her head, cyan blue markings pulsing faintly along her collarbones. The dining surface is designed for shared consumption. It facilitates better posture, reduces spillage risk, and promotes conversation. Dave huffed a laugh. Yeah, you're right. I usually just eat on the couch or at my desk. Pizza on the stove, slices straight from the box. Human stuff, I guess. He pulled out a chair for her, awkwardly, like he wasn't sure if that was the right move, then sat across from her. The table felt strangely formal after the chaos of the living room, but not bad, just different. Zalina regarded the boxes with calm approval. This arrangement is acceptable. Dave opened both lids. Half pineapple pepperoni, half barbecue chicken veggie. Extra cheese. Go wild. She took a slice of the pepperoni first, inspected it briefly, then bit in. For a second, her eyes widened, just a flicker, before she schooled her expression. Good? Dave asked. Very good, she said around the bite. The meat density is satisfying. She moved to the veggie slice next, examined it, then took a careful bite. The same flicker of surprise followed by a small, genuine nod. Balanced flavors. The vegetables provide crunch. Then the barbecue chicken. She bit in, chewed thoughtfully. The smokiness is closer to Dravok spice rub than expected. Acceptable. Finally, the pineapple. She held it up, studying the chunks. The contrast is as advertised. She took a bite, paused, then nodded. Interesting. The sweetness tempers the sauce. With a Dravok item like creche root, high heat tolerance, tangy aftertaste, it could be elevated. Dave leaned forward, elbows on the table. Creche root? What's that? A geothermal tuber from Dravok Prime. Roasted, it adds a smoky tang. When acclimation progresses, I will prepare it as a topping for you. It will be an acquired taste. Dave's grin widened. Deal. Looking forward to it. They ate in easy silence for a while. The only sounds were chewing, the occasional clink of a fork against a plate, and the faint hum of the house settling around them. Dave reached for his glass of water. Tap, room temperature, the way he always drank it. Then paused. We should probably get drinks. I've got soda, beer in the fridge, water, nothing fancy. Do you want anything? Zalina set her slice down neatly on the plate, wiped her fingers with precision on the napkin, and regarded him with that calm, analytical tilt of her head. I brought something. A gesture of reciprocity. She rose smoothly, the cyan blue markings along her forearms pulsing once as she moved, and disappeared into the spare bedroom. She returned a moment later, holding a small matte black cylindrical flask, no larger than a thermos, etched with faint fractal patterns that matched her warglow markings. She placed it on the table between them with careful ceremony. "Veth'kar essence," she said, "distilled from geothermal springs on Dravok Prime. Mineral-rich, mildly effervescent, with a low thermal signature. Safe for baseline human consumption in small quantities. Accord medical clearance confirmed. Warriors carry it for hydration and morale on long deployments." Dave eyed the flask like it might bite. "So, alien Gatorade?" Her mouth curved the tiniest fraction. More accurately, alien electrolyte concentrate with subtle smoke notes from the obsidian filtration. "It is customary to share with a new associate." He hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, let's try it." Zalina twisted the cap. A soft hiss escaped and a faint silvery vapor curled upward. She poured a small measure into each of their empty water glasses, clear liquid with tiny rising bubbles that caught the light like liquid starfield. The scent hit Dave first. Clean stone after rain, undercut with something warm and metallic, like heated iron mixed with faint citrus. He lifted his glass. "To not panicking yet?" "To mutual assessment," she replied, and clinked her glass against his with deliberate care. Dave took a cautious sip. It was cool at first, then bloomed into a gentle heat across his tongue, smoky, mineral sharp, with an unexpected bright finish that wasn't quite sweet. Not bad. Actually, kind of refreshing in a weird post-sauna kind of way. "Not terrible," he admitted. "Better than the energy drinks I live on during audits." Zalina's amber eyes flickered with quiet satisfaction. "Good. The trial requires sustained compatibility across multiple vectors, including shared sustenance." Dave took another sip, letting the warmth settle. "Speaking of sustained, what happens when we're not, actively assessing each other? I've still got my day job. Remote, mostly staring at cargo manifests and flagging discrepancies. That keeps the lights on." He paused, then added with a half grin. "A funny thing, I've seen House Ghal'tor shipments across my desk more times than I can count. Titanium runs, shield components, even that diplomatic personnel transfer 4 months back. Never thought I'd be auditing the gear while a commander was on my couch." Zalina's markings pulsed brighter for a split second. "Surprise, maybe, or recognition. You are the terrestrial compliance auditor assigned to Dravok heavy routes. I reviewed your profile in detail before arrival. Your flags on our misclassified alloy shipments were notably thorough. House Ghal'tor logistics officers have referenced the Harlan bottleneck in internal reports." Dave choked on his next sip of veth'kar. "They say that about me?" "Admiringly," she clarified, deadpan. "Your efficiency in identifying regulatory leverage improved our routing projections by 7.3% last quarter." He stared at her. "I'm flattered. Terrified? Both?" "Both are valid responses." The corner of her mouth lifted again, almost a real smile. "During non-social hours, I will maintain my own duties. The Terran integration program requires daily logs, cultural observations, behavioral compatibility metrics, environmental acclimation notes. I transmit via secure relay. Additionally, I will study your local systems, power grids, supply chains, resource allocation. Your virtual simulations intrigued me. I may request access to observe your optimization methods. It is analogous to strike planning." Dave leaned back, glass cradled in both hands. "So you're not just here to mini-golf and eat pizza. You're basically running a field study on my messy human life while I poke at your fleet's paperwork." "Precisely. Parallel objectives increase overall mission success probability." She paused, then added softer. "And it prevents idle time. Idleness is suboptimal." He laughed quietly. "Yeah, I get that. Guess we're both working from home now." Zalina inclined her head. "It's an acceptable arrangement." Dave glanced at her across the table, the gunmetal skin shifting teal in the lamplight, the faint glow of her eyes, the way she held the glass like it was part of a ritual. The veth'kar warmth lingered in his chest, mingling with something else entirely. "So, how about mini-golf tomorrow?" he asked. Zalina inclined her head. "Yes. I reviewed the course layouts. My precision should provide a competitive advantage." Dave laughed, real this time. "You're going to wargame mini-golf?" "Every game is an assessment," she said. Then softer, "But I'm looking forward to it." Dave felt that small shift in his chest again, warmer this time. "Yeah," he said. "Me too." Outside, the Ohio evening darkened. Inside, two very different people shared pizza, an alien drink, and the beginning of something neither had expected. Zalina closed the spare room door with a soft, precise click, sealing herself into the small human space. She relaxed, the cyan blue lines fading to a thin undercurrent. Then laid Dave's black Optimize or Die shirt across the chair, its faint scent registering again. Simple detergent and him, an undefinable warmth that lingered longer than logic suggested it should. Across the hall, his lamp stayed lit. She heard the mattress give under his weight, the rhythm of his breathing already easing towards sleep without ceremony or calculation. Inefficient. Yet the system had selected him, 98.7% compatibility, a number she had accepted as data, not destiny. She had expected another warrior profile, or at least someone whose metrics mirrored her own sharpness. Instead, this soft-edged auditor who laughed at her precision, whose chaos somehow did not grate, whose hazel eyes met hers without flinching. The match was statistically sound. The quiet curiosity it stirred in her chest was less quantifiable. Tomorrow, mini-golf, a low-stakes assessment, and perhaps another small, unpredicted recalibration. She settled onto the bare mattress and let the unfamiliar silence wrap around her.